Hi, Teletrim. Just waiting on the live to start. Give me a sec in case there's any questions. So, give it a bit. All right, everyone, this is a little special Saturday because I missed Tuesday. Sorry about that. And also, it's an important one because I wanted to talk about a recent article released by the RACGP, the Royal Australian College of General Practitioners, talking about the biggest online health risk right now. And basically, Australian GPs, or the college, looked at all the evidence and they issued an urgent warning. And that was basically the amount of medical misinformation online has reached a critical tipping point. And basically, what they're seeing is that a lot of patients are coming, or more and more patients are coming into appointments asking for advice about things they've seen, diets or whatnot, they've seen on TikTok, Instagram, or from various influencers. And what the study did is they went and they looked at 1,000 posts, social media posts about medical tests or medical interventions or fitness or whatever it was, specifically around medical tests, and found that 68% of influencers had a financial interest in what they were promoting. So here you go, you have someone whose main benefit is to say, yes, do this because I'm going to make money from it. So but that's fine. I mean, okay, let's take it with a grain of salt and go, okay, look, obviously, they're trying to sell a product, you do. But one of the problems with that is that only 15% mentioned the harms and 6% mentioned overdiagnosis. So, and even just one step further, just to drive it crazy, only 6% mentioned the medical evidence for what they were trying to sell. So what this means is that a lot of the medical advice that you're seeing online from influencers or other social media from people who aren't doctors is really just marketing dressed up as medicine. Let's put it in context. We see things, thyroid diet, detox teas, supplements that melt fat, basically, there's evidence that some of these things don't work. And there's evidence that some of these things can be quite harmful. So people are spending their money on things that don't work and things that could be harmful. People are welcome to spend their money on what they want, but stuff that's harming you, we don't want to do that, okay? And if it's not actually going to do what it says it does, why waste your money? Spend it on something better. Spend it on yourself. I think a good couple of simple rules to follow around what was advocated from the RSAGP. A couple of good rules to follow is if the person giving you the health advice is selling something, then you should assume that there's a little bit of bias in what they're telling you. And by that I mean, obviously it's in their interest if you purchase what they're selling. I think the other thing you have to kind of be aware yourself is that we're simple creatures. I'm simple. I would love the quick fix. My brain loves a quick fix. My body wants things to be consistent and easy. Well, at least to be consistent, but social media is set to sell the quick fix. And we know weight loss is a long-term game. It's got to be about, consistency. There's ups and downs, but to be consistent. Again, the quick crash, the quick thing, this magic pill, non-medical, this magic supplement, without any evidence. So I guess when it comes to weight loss, the best weight loss advice is boring. Sleep well, eat real food, move your body, be consistent, and if in doubt, talk to a real health professional if you're unsure, because we're going to lead you the right way. So not everything online is wrong, okay? But you should question it, because there's motivations for all of us to lose weight, to make money, to do whatever. But where are people stuck with guidelines? Doctors have rules we have to follow. We're watched. We have people who watch us, but who's watching the influencers? We know who's watching the influencers. Who's watching what they're selling? Who's reporting on what they're selling? I guess going along the lines of, not all influencers are bad, okay? Not all social media is bad. Again, question it. But how do I know if the health advice is real? And I think sort of check a few things. Are they selling something? Do they cite real studies? And do they mention the risks and benefits? And if you have someone who's doing all of those three things, then I think you can be, rest assured that at least they're trying to be a little more fair, even though they're a bit biased. They're trying to, fully inform you, With regard to most supplements, or just are supplements for weight loss, are supplements for weight loss worth it? Look, most have weak evidence, really strong marketing, and a really strong price tag. So I'm going to say no. I think you have to make sure that your nutritional, biological needs are being met. But those supplements tend to be cheaper. Those are the ones you can buy over the counter. You can buy whatever. Now, nobody wants to take 20 pills a day. So do you find a mix, that has all of those things in an appropriate balance? That is something probably more worth your money than a chocolate magnesium powder that's going to help you sleep well and wake up fully rested, and charge you $50 a month. I think you've got to kind of look at what's in it and how it's going. I guess a good question. Why is there so much medical misinformation online? And basically because attention makes money. Quick fixes, easy stuff, quick fixes get more clicks than the boring stuff, than the honest advice. Look how boring I am. I think the only reason we're here is just to tell me to stop talking. Is to get, just a bit of advice, or just to be able to actually ask a question to a medical professional. But again, I'm not telling you it's a quick fix. I'm telling you weight loss is long. It's a journey. It's, and this is a good one. If an influencer looks fit, does it mean their advice? No. If an influencer looks fit, doesn't it mean their advice works? Not necessarily. A lot of some of the stuff you see online is just genetics, Great editing, good lighting, which I probably need better lighting, strong marketing, even medications. The same medications that are probably available to all are playing a role, but they may not be disclosing that they're using other treatments to get the look they want to sell you what they're trying to sell. So I think, just because someone looks fit doesn't necessarily mean the advice they're giving you is accurate. Just do your diligence, or ask us. What's the biggest red flag on online health advice? Biggest red flag, hands down, if they promised fast results with no effort, probably not real. Nothing's for free. Nothing's for free. You got to work. Much as we hate it, not until we hit Star Trek times are we going to be able to, do something without much work. See, the detox teas. Do detox teas and fat burning drinks work? The only thing that they lighten is your wallet, okay? Not your weight. We got another one. Why do quick fix diets feel so convincing? Look, your brain loves a shortcut. If we can save mental energy to get to a solution easier, economically, it's gonna, your brain's gonna jump at it first. That's our brain. We're worried about our body, and our body needs consistency, good food, movement, good frame of mind. So being consistent, staying on the journey, fighting the long fight. Okay. Again, yeah. Is it bad to get health advice from social media? Look, it's not always bad to get health advice from social media. It starts the conversation. It doesn't replace a medical plan, but at least it gives you a starting point. We talked about, in the day and age now of rushed consults and not quite personalized care, you only have this small window at other places to try and ask what you want to ask, okay? And you need a starting point, You might have a few little things here that you go, okay, look, this has started me thinking about something. Let me get the medical opinion. Let me get to see if these things are accurate. So I think, social media can be useful. Yeah. And like we always say, what does real weight loss advice look like? Sleep better, eat real food, move more, be consistent. It's not exciting, but it works. Then again, there are medications and stuff that are available, but that's got to be part of a plan, with a medical professional to make sure someone's watching out for your biological health, your side effects, making sure that you're staying within the path and not straying off. We could stray better, or we don't want you to fall off the cliff or anything. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Again, sorry about Tuesday, kid stuff. We will see you on Monday around 5:10, the Dr. 5. And we'll have us a great week. Thanks, guys.